Welcome everybody to a new episode of Flower Circus Talks. Actually, it's a special episode. It's the last of the daily Flower Circus Talks. From next week, we'll do it only on Fridays because everybody is working again, or hopefully working again, or soon will be working again. So I think it's time for everybody to get this. Let's put it nice, but get away from Instagram, get away from Facebook, start working on new ideas. Today, to end this whole 10 week of Flower Circus Talks, I want to talk with my colleagues from Flower Circus about what they do, what their passion is, and what Flower Circus does. So yeah, in the last 10 weeks, we talked with growers, we talked with breeders, designers. What did we have more? Wholesalers, importers, export companies, people from China, Australia, America, South America. We learned a lot. Hopefully you learned a lot as well. And yeah, today we're going to talk with, first we're going to start out with two of the designers of Flower Circus, Michael van Namen and Mark Frank. Then we go to Julia, who's doing the social media for Flower Circus and for some of our customers. And as a special guest in the end, we have John Koopman, the ringmaster slash clown of Flower Circus. If you have any questions for us, please ask. And also what I want to know from you guys is, what do you want to see in the weekly Flower Circus Talks? What was most interesting for you during all those weeks? So first of all, let's welcome Mark into the stream. Mark, welcome.
Hey, John, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. I can see you're at work as well at the moment.
Yes, I'm very grateful. A friend of mine has a flower store in Amsterdam, and he asked me during this period to come over and work for him. Of course, I travel a lot with you, and I have also jobs in foreign countries. But unfortunately, during this whole crisis, it's not working out traveling to do these kinds of shows. But he has a really busy store, and especially because that people are ordering flowers online. He asked me to come over and work for him as well. So, and also now we start to enter like the holiday season for his staff. He also asked me to come over. So I've been actually quite busy the last couple of weeks. So yeah, that's really nice. So I already told him that I will be off for like 10-15 minutes to talk to you about Flower Circus.
Okay, great. Yeah, actually, you were very busy because we had the plan to do an online show before Mother's Day even already.
Yeah.
But you were so busy, and all of the designers were busy actually, so that we had to postpone it until the 15th. I think, yeah, we did a nice job.
Definitely.
Yeah, the next designer who's going to be in the live show, and I will invite him, is Michael van Namen. Maybe you can share some tips with Michael. Hello, Michael.
Hello, everybody. John, thanks for having me again. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Michael, how are you?
Good. Sitting in my garden, so I'm not at work today, but it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, you also have been very busy, Michael.
Yeah, it was a very busy period actually with this crisis, because in the 1st of April I was asked by Stuyvesant Stamper in Belgium. At company, everything has to be closed in Belgium, so the shop was also closed and they opened an online store. And it went crazy. We sold around Mother's Day for more than 2,000 bouquets for only Mother's Day.
Wow.
So we worked like crazy for that. Yeah, it was actually April and May. It was good. Yeah, there was nothing wrong with that. But unfortunately, we don't have to travel to the other countries. Yeah, but Belgium is also another country, so that's good.
Yeah, that's true. Hello, Cookie. Nice that you're watching again. Marco, good morning. Nice to be watching again. Tamara saying nice beard, Mark.
Thanks, Tamara.
That's the Corona look.
Yeah.
Mark, you did the first live show.
Yeah.
I had a great time doing the first live show with you. You The next one is going to be Michael. Do you have any tips for Michael?
Yeah, tell me.
Just go for it. I mean, just do like you always do on stage. Of course, it's a different setup, but still, I know that you like flowers, that you love flowers, like working with them. That's my tip. But as you know, just make a party out of it, and share your passion for flowers.
I will. All right.
Joko, you have a little bit of a problem. You're saying hi, handsome, but you got three men out.
Hi, Joke.
A problem for Michael.
Joke is the lady from Brussels. So
okay.
Yeah.
So now it's going to be fun. I think the first show was great. The second show, we know what we can even improve a little bit. Technical wise, so that's going to be great. You've got a new provider, Michael, that's working better than last time.
Better, much better.
Yeah. Hello, Willie. Thank you for joining us as well.
Good to see
Hey,
you.
Willie.
If there are any questions for Mark or Michael, just ask. I mean, like Mark already said, we've been traveling a lot, all over the world actually, with Flower Circus. And of course they have been traveling as well themselves. We've seen the craziest things. Michael, can you give one example of what happened that you still remember with Flower Circus?
With Flower Circus, we did a lot of things, and we traveled a lot, of course. But the one that I remember pretty good, and I think you also remember that one pretty good, that you asked me the most of the time when John called me up, he said, "Michael, do you have time in that period?" So my next question is, sure, but what are we going to do? Because the first time that John was asking me, we went to Novosibirsk, if I pronounce it well.
Yeah.
It's on the other side of Russia. And it was a flight of at least a lot of hours, because first we flew from Amsterdam to Moscow. That's short, that's 3 hours. Then I had to wait there for 7 hours. And then from Moscow to Novosibirsk, it took me, I think, around 7 hours again.
Wow.
And no, 6 or 7, but it felt like I arrived at the end of the day, prepared the demonstration. The next morning around 10 o'clock, I gave the demonstration. And around 4 o'clock, I flew back.
Yeah.
So that was the one that I remember pretty well. And I came home and I took a look at the pictures and I thought to myself, take a look at the pictures. I was there. So yeah, we did a lot of fun things. We did a lot of fun things together.
Yeah. So actually, there's going to be a show in Irkutsk again. That's 6 hours flight or 6.5 hours flight. So.
But that's good.
Yeah. Actually, we've been with Mark in the Novosibirsk as well, and the first day we had 20 degrees plus, and they were saying, "Yeah, tomorrow we'll have a snowstorm."
Yeah, that was amazing. It was from one day to the other day. It was so cold. It's like. And I didn't prepare for it. Of course, because travel so much, you always take extra clothing with you, but it was too cold over there. It was so strange.
Yeah.
But that's what happens all the time. I mean, because you go to places where you never have been before, or maybe one time, but maybe in a different season. It's that's what makes traveling so interesting for me. I mean, you get to see new places, new people, meet new people. Also, what I think is very important to educate myself is, also talking by people that you get to know how they do their work, their business. That's just so interesting about traveling also with Flower Circus, not only for myself, traveling with the companies I work for, but also with Flower Circus.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
makes
actually
it really
the
nice.
best thing, that you can share your knowledge that we have together.
Yeah.
Birgit, hello. Thank you for joining as well. Tamara saying the first show was fantastic. Cannot wait for the second one.
Good,
So,
good.
Big shoes to fill, Michael. But is there something, Mark, that's standing out for you? Something special that you still remember? And share as well with the audience.
You know what it is? That's what I said. Always, when you're traveling, something will always happen. I mean, it's either designing on the spot that a lady will say from the audience, okay, and can you also, because of course the shows are in preparation the day before we prepare everything, flowers, but there is always sort of like a gimmick or something going on. And I can remember that one bouquet that I had to make, and I think it was not so long ago. I think it was with in Zagreb, I'm correct. But that the lady said, well, I would like to have a bouquet, but with only chrysanthemums. And you just start working. It was Slovenia.
Yeah,
Slovenia. And then you have a couple of different chrysanthemums with you, and that's also the experience you have during all those years of traveling and making things on the spot, and it turned out really nice as well.
Yeah,
she was really happy with it, so got a big kiss afterwards, and that makes our job amazing and fantastic and enjoyable every time.
Yeah, the most crazy thing happens. I mean, we've been at the opening of a new wholesale, and I can't remember if it was with you, Mark, or with Martin Groen, but nothing worked. They were still, the day before the opening, they were still pouring concrete.
Those are the terrible moments.
And the toilet was working 10 minutes or half an hour after the start of the show. So there were 300 people over there. There was no toilet.
But those things happen. Always something happens. And and because of the traveling, you know how to deal with those situations. I mean, that makes it so interesting.
Yeah, that's for sure. We have seen national dancing as well, artists coming by, and so that was really great. Willie's asking me actually, did you begin as a florist?
Curious. Tell us, John.
Yeah, no, Willie, I didn't start as a florist. I did did study on the horticultural school in Aalsmeer, and it was more the trade part and the growing part of the business. But as a group of people in that class, we said, okay, we want to know some more about floristics as well, because if we need to advise a florist what to use, or they ask us something, we need to know what they do as well. So that year, actually, we had an extra, I think, 4 hours a week that we had to, that we got taught by Lucas Jansen about working as a florist. So the basics I know. I've done a lot in the floral industry. I've been a buyer on the auction. I sold flowers, sold plants, sold flower bulbs, marketing. Actually, the story is almost getting as long as yours, Willie, where you have been. So that's my story actually, and I helped my uncle in his flower shop and on the market. So I know a little bit about what to make, but of course that's why we've got the flower magicians in the circus. They have to do the trick. I know the story behind the flowers, things like that. So let's keep the magic or the floral magic for Mark, Michael, and the other magicians. And I will do the talking sometimes. Caroline Marshall Foster saying hello.
Hello, Caroline.
Hello, Caroline.
Hey, Caroline.
Really nice to see you again.
Hello, Chicago.
Yeah. Michael is a van name related to the vans here in Chicago.
That's cool. That's
no?
Nice city, windy city.
Yeah, but are you related to the van names in Chicago or not?
No. Not that I know of, but
okay.
maybe relatives of mine living over there. Yeah. I know of.
So and Tamara saying, especially because Michael's there. So Michael, the second show, you really. We're gonna add some more magic as well. So you don't know it, Michael, yet, but together with John, who's filming actually behind the scenes the online show. We prepared some fun things, so that's going to be a surprise for you and for the audience as well.
So prepare yourself, Michael. Prepare yourself.
Yeah, I will.
I've been there, so.
I've done that.
There's still confetti around this house everywhere.
Right, don't talk about it, because I still find it. It's like a week ago or 2 weeks ago. Yeah, it has been going through the whole house, that confetti stuff.
Yeah. Actually, something we also do, and that maybe not everybody knows, is that we make how to make movies. Both of you already did some of those videos, and I tried to find a picture of it. There's a 60-second video about how to make a bouquet from zero until the end result. Why 60 seconds? A lot of people don't have a lot of patience nowadays to watch a movie of 20 minutes or an hour just to make one bouquet. So there's no talking there. So don't worry if you don't speak English, Russian, French, or whatever. It's 60 seconds. We make the bouquets. That's what we did first for ourselves, because we think this is the way to go to inspire people in a quick way in 60 seconds. If people want to remake it, they can just pause it. I think the first video had over 125,000 views.
Cool.
The last video has also been posted, I think a month ago, and it's already above 20 or 25,000 views as well. So it seems that that's the way to go as well. So if there are any people interested in doing this, please let us know. You can also find them on our YouTube page. And I think we've got 4 or 5 there, and there's a new one coming up pretty soon. So are there any more questions for Michael or Mark? Because we've got some other magicians, and we got our social media specialist as well. And otherwise we can do the questions a little bit later, because Mark has to work, but we can ask Michael some.
Sure.
Because otherwise, if Mark isn't going to work, is it a nice shop, Mark? Maybe you can show us a little bit of the shop? Is that possible?
I will do a quick tour.
Yeah, I will hide you with Michael, so we can see the shop, because I think maybe I'm interested in how a flower shop in Amsterdam looks like.
Yeah. The funny thing is that this store already existed for about 70 years. And actually, it's 2 stores next to each other.
Yeah.
And that happened recently. I will just switch over to get a better view. To turn out the camera. Let me see if it works.
Yeah.
So this is the other store. And this is for like really big plants, big pots, like the high-end exclusive pottery and really big plants.
Yeah.
You know, he's got a great selection. Let me just get upstairs, like also big cacti. And actually I've been cleaning a little bit, so it's a little bit messy still. But as you can see, really nice plants. And this is what's going on here in Amsterdam. People buy a lot of flowers, but also like really big plants.
Yeah.
To decorate their homes. Let me just go to the other store now.
Yeah, that's really a trend, right? The green plants at the moment.
Yeah, like a quick view of Amsterdam.
Yeah. Try not to move too much with the camera, then we can see it.
Now I'm walking into the. This is how he presents it, but.
Oh, I think that shop is not having the best internet over there. Oh yeah, there we are again.
And a lot of pottery and some extra plants over there as well.
Yeah. That looks great. Oh, and even the hang plants on the ceiling as well.
Preview of the store. Now I'm outside.
We can't see anything. You're still walking. Oh, there you are again. Yeah. A really nice presentation as well, so everybody knows that it's a flower store. Yeah, looking great. Great. Willie saying, look forward to seeing you in person again. Yeah, so let's hope we...
So now I'm entering the store again, so...
Yeah, great. Thank you very much, Mark. I hope you can hear me. It doesn't look like you can hear me. Can you hear me? No? No, looks like you can't hear me. I think he has to go back to work again. Thank you very much, Mark. See you soon. And I think it's time to move over to one of our other specialists in the circus, our social media specialist, Julia.
Yep.
Welcome.
Hello. Happy to join you one more time.
Yeah. So we've done a show about social media with you.
Yeah.
You explained a lot the people what to do and what are the trends at the moment. So there was really a lot of great information there. First of all, I want to ask you: do you see any changes now that COVID-19 is running to its end? Let's hope it's running to its end. People start to work again.
Well, at least from what I see in organic is that people definitely want to use these popular hashtags where it should be and shouldn't be there, really. It is still popular. It is still like search result #1, or at least like in top. So people are interested, people are looking for it, but it is kind of overused.
Yeah.
It looks that everyone is really getting tired of the situation. I keep seeing, at least on some personal accounts and corporate too, texts and like moods saying that, okay, we are so tired, we want to get back to work, we wish things could be normal. What is also interesting is that there are articles and like some listicles going out with a list of, let's say, flower shops that are closed because of COVID and explaining why they were closed and what was the financial difficulty. So I think now it's really great time to shout that you're still alive, you survived, you're looking to open, and although it's hard, you're still there with your clients and supporting you. And yet, tomorrow, I also haven't seen you in ages. Yeah. So that is regarding the organic. And regarding paid, well, we can still see that people are not really advertising the same amount they used to, because of course they are in some economical trouble, more or less. So definitely, if you want to advertise, it's still really perfect time, because you can get like, I mean, 3 times bigger results with the same budget minimum, even if you have no like advertising history. And that's what we see with our relatively new accounts and clients that haven't done any advertising, that were not really active posting things. And I mean, they really succeed, and they have tons of new engagement and followers just in several weeks. So it is really pleasant to see. And I think like now is really great moment to start new things and accomplishments. And this is also a slide of one of our clients that we've managed for some time, but just look at the spike and growth for the recent months. It is astonishing. Although we haven't changed the budget actually, so it's still running with the same investments over there. So that's for me great.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, like Julia said, without any change of budget, great growth. I mean, we're talking about not even 2,000 to 8,000 a year. We're working with somebody who had, I think, 4,000. He's up to 20,000 in 1.5 years.
Yeah.
So, it's like it was. I think I don't know how many weeks ago, but we had an interview with Cindy Hanauma, and she was telling you need to give your message feed. You need to reach out to your customers. If you have a flower shop, and look what happens on social media, you can give your message feed that you're either closed, but you can get internet orders in or the phone calls, things like that. Tell about it and shout about it and maybe even advertise on it. So you reach people and you reach new people as well.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah. And actually, about reaching people and advertising, there's I can't say there's a trick. It sounds nice when you say there's a trick, especially with Flower Circus. There's some magic going on social media. But can you explain somebody putting just I don't know $25 or $50 on an ad, or what we are doing? What's the difference?
Definitely. So what I keep seeing with people who even know something about the ads and have passed some basic tutorials is this desire to simply click a button on Facebook boost and done. But in the reality, what happens there? You can advertise on Facebook really easily with just one click. And of course, Facebook will make it easy for you. Yeah. But there is another way to advertise, which is professional and which is done via the Facebook Business Manager with the help of business tools. And what is really important, with the help of really advanced targeting. So it's not that if you will select your country or your city and you will tell, okay, I want to target female and male of, let's say, 25 to 55, because these are my clients. Yeah. This is not enough. This is an extremely big audience. And with your relatively small budget, you will just catch some random people. So what should be there is definitely targeting. I would say that in many cases, it is like 75% of your success. Because if you reach right people with your budget, and understandably, it can be really big. Yeah. It means that they will engage with your post because it will resonate with them. So what is important is to really target it professionally, or better not to waste money, because it will be really wasted.
Yeah, I sometimes compare it to growers. Like when you have a brochure and you just be in city center and just give away your brochures to everybody, not even asking if they like flowers or not. Hopefully you get a handful of people who are interested in flowers.
But and people will pick it. Yeah, because there are some flowers, it looks nice. They even don't see the context, they just pick it.
Yeah, because we've got great content with flowers, of course. So a lot of money is lost there. But if you advertise on people who are interested in flowers, and of course that depends if you're a grower, a breeder, or a florist, because then you're, as a florist, you have a much broader audience, but then you can also target the people who are searching for flowers or interested in flowers, things like that. So there's a lot of things that can be done, and it's of course great. Either you're giving away brochures in city center and maybe you get a handful of people who are interested, or you're a breeder or a grower and you're handing out brochures on a trade show. Then you know that 95% of the people are interested in flowers.
Definitely, yeah. And there are so many tricks that could be done. For example, the special events, or you want to target a specific audience, let's say of people who are just not really far away from your store. I mean, if you have a flower shop, you can simply create, or for example, not you, but maybe someone can create for you an advertising campaign that will show ads to people that are just passing by, and for example, just looking on something in their Facebook, and they will see your ad, like the shop that is nearby, just come here and select what you want. And this should work perfectly.
Yeah. Sometimes what you see yourself probably as well, if you're on internet or reading the newspaper and you see an ad somewhere in the screen as well, and you were just shopping for clothing or something, and you see the same dress or shoes in that ad. That's actually what we can do.
Yeah. It seems like it is magic, and you may ask yourself, oh, how do they know? But this is all just a matter of really wise targeting.
Yeah. And also, I think a lot of people were talking about a web shop. There are millions and millions of web shops online. So how can you get yourself noticed as a web shop? That's also, I think, very important.
It is hard. It is definitely hard. And it is important to understand what is your platform. Yeah. Do you want to have your separate web shop, like a website? Do you want to have a shop on Instagram and Facebook? What are your capabilities and plans? In any case, it's hard to have, like one rule and one recommendation. But what is definitely important is to understand that it doesn't over when you just create your shop. People wouldn't see you just because you are there. You need to really invest efforts, time, and some budget to make sure that your shop will be noticed, because as you've told, John, there are just dozens, millions of them over there. So the level of competitiveness is extremely high nowadays. So what I would definitely tell is, if you want to have your web shop on your proper domain and have website, it's important to invest in both proper look of your website, make sure it is mobile optimized, because there is a great chance people will buy right from their mobile and not from desktop, that it is easy and understandable how to, for example, pay with it online, and that people can find you. So search engine optimization is great, because just imagine, how do you search for things? You're Googling, right? And if you see something on top and it corresponds to your request, of course you will click. And that's how it works. And that's just tons of work and resources invested to make your shop be at least on page 1.
Yeah.
And the next pillar is, of course, advertising. And these could be different platforms, of course, depending on where your audience is.
It's very important. With a web shop, if you open a physical shop in a shopping street, then people see you anyway if they pass by. But if you open a web shop, people will not just notice you, because you will not be found. So that's a big difference between having a physical shop and having a web shop.
Yeah, definitely it is like that. And just because there is so many information, so many possibilities, even if you're seen once or twice, it's not enough. It's so easy to forget.
Yeah.
So it's just important to be there, to be seen, and to build this first brand awareness and then brand recognition of your customer base.
Yeah. And let's be honest, you don't need a multi-million budget to do those things.
Not at all. No.
So, but it's really worthwhile. I mean, if you spend, I don't know, I heard some people spending thousands of dollars for a website or a web shop. Then nothing happened. I mean, you build a web shop, but you don't have any traffic yet. So you need to keep in mind that you need to advertise and shout about your web shop as well.
Of course. Another thing is when you build a web shop, for example, based on the existing website, or at least you, for example, create an Instagram or Facebook web shop and advertise it on your florist page or grower page, whatever, at least you have a base to start from. But imagine you start from scratch. It's very hard to find the right audience right from the beginning.
Willie is saying a new face, another male. That's true.
Yeah, that's unbelievable.
We also have 2 female flower magicians, and Julia is the head of the team of 3 now people of social media of Flower Circus. I've been working with Julia. Is it 2.5, 3 years now? So it's great. The development we made online as well, and on social media, on YouTube, things like that. And also our customers, and it's changing all the time. And Julia, I think she's working on it day and night sometimes, looking for new things that have been changed in Facebook and Instagram.
Of course, yeah, things are changing really rapidly.
Yeah, because one time a picture works and the other time it doesn't work anymore because they changed something. And actually when we're having a meeting with Julia, I can directly see it on her face that something happened on Facebook or Instagram that they changed.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. Well, I think it's the most important to identify a problem and try to find a solution, because it's really all about experiments, about being active, about noticing what is happening there on the market. Because once you, for example, know something or you learn that it works, it doesn't mean that it will work in a month or even in a week.
Yeah.
So, yeah. It is important to be agile, I think, for everyone.
Yeah, trends are following up quite rapidly. I mean, that's unbelievable. Actually, in England, we see a trend going on, and that's quite a nice one. While normally everybody was on the beach and standing there in their best pose and the newest bikini. Now there's a trend going on in the UK that people are posing with a bunch of flowers in front of their head.
Yeah.
It's really fun because everybody has to stay at home. And that makes it a trend over there, and I think it's great to see those trends going on with flowers as well. I mean, if you see the florist in the UK, they say that their business is booming at the moment, especially the online business. And Julia told me that Google data shows in the UK that the flowers, the search for flowers are up by almost 300%. And even the letterbox flowers, that's the bouquets, the smaller or the tinier bouquets, are up more than 1,000%. So,
and actually, I think that's because people want to cheer themselves up.
yeah.
It's also curious because part of this research is that people are looking to put something nice, green and flowery into their balconies. So they are really interested into creating some like comfort zone and something really nice for themselves while they are in like limited situation. So again, it's great opportunity to start something.
Yeah.
And by the way, we also have a question about the email marketing.
Yeah, Alison says for sure. Hello, Alison. Thanks for watching. Be careful. John Koopman is going to be in the screen soon, Alison. I'm just warning you. We were asking about the email marketing, yeah.
Yeah, so how about the email marketing? So how it was several years ago, it was really easy. You could find or buy an email database and say, oh, great, I have 2,010K of targeted contacts. Let's just send them all everything I have. And, it sounds funny right now, but it worked back at times. But what happened not that long time ago? So first we have the updated privacy settings, and we can't get emails just out of the blue. So it is, and even if you would get, it is tricky to try and send email when you're using some email tools.
Yeah.
So what is happening right now? If you have already a nice and activated email base, it is a good potential because it means these are already not the cold audience, but those that know you, those that left their contacts, and those that support you and believe in your brand.
Yeah.
So it's really important to leave this audience warmed up. Because, for example, you may say, okay, I'm having a big email database, and let's just share my services and products once per month.
Yeah.
Well, maybe for first several months it will work, but then they will get tired. So it's important to show that you care about them, to share some content, some important tips, tricks, your news and updates. It will definitely work because you will show that you care about them and that you want to share something extra with them as with audience that left their contacts. So it is a good potential, email marketing overall, but it is important to use it wisely because even if you would do a slight mistake, there are the spam scores, it may harm your domain, your credibility, and it's just important to be careful and make sure you are within the policy.
Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're welcome. I hope it was fruitful.
Yeah, and I mean, I have to congratulate you again because yesterday you won 2 design awards.
Yes.
So he's not only very knowledgeable about social media and everything that's going on the internet. Not 1 but 2 design awards, Ukrainian design awards, right?
Yep. So I was like the Young Creative of the Year, which would mean that I will go to the European awards that will start till the end of this year. So yeah, I feel that it was pretty unexpected for me because I've started not that long ago, and it's really very pleasant to see such a response.
Yeah, it's great. So thank you very much. I'll quickly go to John Koopman because I think he's already falling asleep almost.
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, it was a great pleasure to chat to you and to answer some of the questions. And yeah, in any time you may contact Flower Circus, and I will be happy to consult you and take a look of what's happening in your accounts. What kind of design?
Yeah.
So the graphic and motion design, and I'm also starting to do some Instagram filters.
Okay. That's fab. You're very talented. Yeah, Alison, you've got a talent for people in flower design. I've got a talent to find people in
everywhere
and internet. So Okay, thank you very much. I think we get to Mr. John Koopman.
Thank you too. It was a pleasure to be here.
Bye.
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 Hello, Mr. Koopman.
Hello, Mr. Elsgeest. Good afternoon.
How are you?
I think I'm fine. I'm quite red because my desktop is facing the wall and the camera is facing the window. So there is some backlight, so that's why I'm quite red. And it's also because of the sun I'm enjoying for the last 3 months.
And actually, it's been great weather in Holland, unexpected great weather.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Actually, John is ringmaster in the Flower Circus, also a bit or a lot of a clown. And John is also a photographer, making pictures or photos for Flower Circus for our customers as well at their greenhouses or... Sorry.
That's quite a nice story we had in Scotland, but maybe if we had some drinks, we could do that one in another Flower Circus show.
Yeah, okay. So you're making pictures,
Yeah,
shooting videos, quite nice ones as well. We recently did one as well for a grower about his long-lasting flowers.
yeah. Sorry, that's great.
Yeah, you're an excellent photographer.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Bradley.
Yeah,
Love
actually,
you too.
we wanted to talk about the lighting, about how to use light in pictures, but yeah, you're sitting in a little bit of strange light. Yeah, why don't you wear an outfit?
I do wear an outfit, but I don't wear a Flower Circus outfit.
Yeah.
Thank you, Willie.
Yeah. Normally during the Flower Circus shows, of course, he's in an outfit, but it's his day off or his 3 months off now.
As a ringmaster, I started with a bowler hat, and I got promoted. I got my own top hat now. So I'm almost director. I just have to kill John. So maybe someday.
Who knows?
Who knows?
Yeah. So, photographer, making videos. What do you do? You do a lot, actually.
Yeah. I started as a grower. Some of you may know, a grower of lilies. Being a photographer for almost 20, 25 years as a hobby. I started photographing flowers about 7 or 8 years ago professionally, and besides lilies, I did some promotional work for gerbera, hydrangea, chrysanthemum, tulip, lilies, lysianthus as well. Together with the company.
For one moment, I think Michael is already working on his Houdini act.
Oh, is he disappearing again? You should contract him. Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Oh,
I was almost falling asleep.
almost.
I thought, why am I here in God's name?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But okay.
I will just hide you. Yeah, thank you for the Houdini act, Michael. You will come back in a moment.
Yeah, bro.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, you did a lot of photography in different kinds of flowers. And what I like about you as a photographer, you shoot great images. That's one thing, but you also know how to shoot flowers.
Yeah. The main difference between, I think, me and a lot of other photographers doing flower photography is because I know my flowers. I think I know how to shoot them best. Because flowers are quite different from people or landscape or buildings or interior or whatever. Yeah. It's a really specific. This is a shitty picture. Is it mine? Yeah. Now there are some quite nice examples, and I've been published abroad, and there have been many books filled with photographs of me, not just being me. but also another photographer working for a company called Tour Design. You actually had Pascal last week with his Fabulous Roses. And but I did quite a lot of photography for that company as well. The brochure for Van der Lucht, for instance, but also some other companies. And nowadays, I always talk to I'm often saying to a colleague of mine, I think filming is the new photography. So if you want to be top of mind, you definitely have to use moving pictures, and moving pictures are called film.
Actually, that's the nice thing of Flower Circus, because we have the specialist in-house. Julia knows what's working best. He's not only checking how our social media is performing, but of course he's checking other ones and other types of businesses as well.
Yeah.
And we can quite quickly switch. That Julia gives a call to John and says, okay, this is now working. And so we quite quickly found out that moving or short videos is working great.
Short videos, and we started with videos of 59 seconds, because that's the Instagram length, which can be uploaded quick and easy. But you now have Instagram TV, and I think that works quite well for videos longer than 1 minute. I think it's better even than because the 59 seconds is quite a tight schedule. So I think that opens some opportunities, and it doesn't always have to be real pro like you are Steven Spielberg or Stanley Kubrick. It sometimes it's just a nice idea, and the same is for pictures. Sometimes it's just a picture of a nice bouquet. Sometimes it's a nice picture of just a bouquet. Sometimes it's with somebody in it. Sometimes it's with a marvelous background. Sometimes it's just with a black or white or gray background. We went to a how do you call pretpark in English? Digital camera or SLR? Digital SLR, Willy. 2 times.
And Willy is also adding the challenge with photographing flowers is that flowers are vertical, but the internet is a horizontal world.
You should take a look at my page at www.itaintphotography.com.
Wait, I will show it. It ain't photography.com. Yeah, just continue. I'm
sorry. I will tell you a story about, yes, that's the website. You can find some examples of the photography, and Willy is correct. Most of the photography is done horizontal, but most of the photography I'm doing is for magazines, and magazines are most of the time in portrait. So the photography, 90% is in portrait instead of landscape, because landscape is only used for a spread, and that's not often happening in magazines.
What you're saying, that it's totally different photography, the magazines or online.
Yeah, magazines online, but most of the time photography, same as Instagram, is done on mobile devices, and that's also standing, and Instagram is square.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter how are you shooting, but you really have to bingo. Oh, we're doing bingo. 47. Oh no, that's not bingo. Behave, Mrs. Bradley, behave.
I think she's drinking champagne again already.
Yeah. Shampoo, it's called.
Yeah.
And it's in plastic bottles nearby the bathroom. So it all depends on the targeted medium you're using it. So if online, it's I think it's 80% it's portrait because of its mobile devices. Hardly any people using desktops again, as well as Julia said. You have to have a responsive website, otherwise it's not working at all.
Yeah.
two little ducks. Oh my God! So it's a large duck. Sorry. Again.
By the way, I had in the comments, I had a YouTube video from Beyond Crescent that we made, I think 2 months ago now.
Yeah. No, it was a little bit further away. It was just before COVID-19 started. We shot it and we placed it together during the last 2-3 months. And it all started with the idea of how can you visualize long-lasting chrysanthemums.
Yeah.
And that's the funny thing about John and me. So we're both John. My name is spelled G-H-O-N and John's name is spelled G-O-J-O. Yes, like that. Can you do that a little bit sooner instead of me breaking my tongue? The funny thing about us is that we a lot of times have the same idea on the same moment. And and sometimes we're, for instance, calling each other with almost the same question or the same idea. So we came up with the beard idea. So the chrysanthemums of Beyond lost a beard, and then it starts the way back. So it starts with an idea, and then okay, how are we going to film it? What's needed? And it's the total video is shot in 2.5, maybe 3 hours.
Yeah.
And we did some of the editing in, I think, all together 6 or 7 hours. Some additional things. So it's the whole thing. It's done in 10 hours.
Yeah.
So it's quite. I think it's quite amazing that we do short videos for the price of a, for instance, ad in a local newspaper or horticultural magazine, and you can really make an impact with such a video. So I think that's quite nice. Well, we're going to invite Michael.
Talk
about exits and entrances.
Thank you very much for waiting, Michael. And
we have a second clown.
Oh, I'm back. Oh, I was also in this conversation.
You look marvelous, Michael. Have you done your beauty sleep again?
Oh. So, what was the conversation about?
The conversation was about sex, but now you're joining. We'll quit the conversation.
Yeah.
All right.
Together in the Flower Circus, they sometimes are like two clowns. Although, Michael, can you tell about a thing with you and clowns? What's going on over there?
I'm working.
This is quite a nice example of portrait photography in a landscape environment.
Yeah.
Poor Michael. Thanks, Alison. Yeah, poor Michael.
If you get me out of the picture, you can do it standing up.
Then the picture is much better. No, actually, the thing that we do for Flower Circus, I work for Flower Circus now a few years, and I really hate clowns. I really hate clowns. I'm afraid for clowns. Everything about clowns, I hate. Yeah.
Yeah, and yet you joined the circus.
Yeah, and at the end I joined the circus, and then you put me a red nose on there.
Yeah.
But it's a great picture. In this time we do everything for the great picture.
Yeah, you're not only afraid of clowns, because I remember one show in Russia, you were holding a frog.
Yeah, there are two things: clowns and frogs. Yeah, it's that's a crazy thing. I know. A lot of people that know me, they know that I'm afraid for that. But yeah, sorry. And actually, Willie from Chicago, if I remember, my mother just sent me a text message that I have family in Chicago.
Okay, you should visit them one time. It should be fun.
Yeah, maybe. Life is full of surprises.
Yeah. So yeah, and talking about surprises, I mean, you traveled all over the world. I mean, you even been in Japan last year to see the Gloriosa growing over there.
October, I got an invitation from beautiful Japan. It was very high on my list at the country that I wanted to visit, and then they invited me 6 days to Japan. But the special part about it that in the 6 days they flew me 6 times from the left side to Japan, the north, the east, the west, and we went to a beautiful. You can see it on the picture, a beautiful Gloriosa grower of Gloriosa. They were 2 meters high. It was extraordinary. It was a very special trip. Yeah, it was very special. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's unfortunately we haven't been there with Flower Circus yet, but who knows what's coming up. I mean, our tent goes everywhere.
Yeah, that's definitely.
Yeah, where was this, by the way?
This is actually in our country, in Holland, in Limburg. It's for the Rose Festival, if you pronounce it in English. And actually, they do it 2 times one time in 2 years, every 2 years. But now they stopped. That's really unfortunately. But they asked me to make. That's always the nice part. They asked me to make a design. And that's it. It's actually free of design. You can make whatever you want. And I actually made a tree made out of flowers, roses, hydrangeas, with all kinds of beautiful flowers. So that was very special. It's a very nice project to do.
Yeah, it looks great. I mean, that's the nice thing. I think, of being a designer or being with Flower Circus, we travel all over the world. You get a lot of inspiration as well.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's the best part about your knowledge. If you can share it together, it will make you much bigger. And that's the good thing about this time that we think different now. We are used to travel a lot around the world, but now we cannot travel. So we to think about other things. So that's why my website. I'm working on my website. It's almost done, and you have time for other things. And I have the good thing that I can work a lot. So, but I really miss it to go to other countries. I really miss it.
Yeah. Your website, mgbloom.nl?
No. It's actually a brand new one. It's michaelvannamen.com.
michaelvannamen.com. I will put it in the...
.com behind it. Yeah. michaelvannamen.com.
With a C, right?
Yeah. Perfect. That's the one. Yeah.
So when will it be online? Do you know it already?
It's already online.
Okay, we can check it now.
Oh, you can check it if you want. You can check it if you want. But I have to pronounce it on Facebook. So you have a scoop now.
Yeah. Wow, great. We have a scoop.
That's good.
Traveling all over the world gives you surprises. Actually, we got into a tulip show with 500 different varieties as well in Russia. Cool. These tulip shows, they are in Holland in springtime, but we never expected to be in one in Russia. So that was also big fun. I will invite our clown as well into the stream.
Oh my God.
There he is again.
Oh, yeah, I was just checking your website, Michael. Looks great.
Thanks.
I saw a question of Cookie. And Cookie was asking which digital camera do you use for your photography? The funny thing is most of the people think they have to buy a good camera to do some quite nice photography, but the best kept secret in photography is that you buy nice lenses instead of nice cameras. Because lenses last a lifetime and cameras last about 5 or 6 years at the most. I shoot with a Nikon D800. I have 2 of them. And the nice thing about the Nikon D800 is that they have a filming possibility as well.
Okay.
If you use the right microphones and etc., it can be done with the same camera as the photography. So that was the Cookie answer.
Yeah.
And you make beautiful pictures, Sean. I can make you compliment about that.
Oh, thank you very much. Which picture are you referring to, Michael?
All of them. Switzerland, Scotland. We traveled a lot together.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, we do great things.
But yeah, it's true. Michael and I travel a lot together, not just for Flower Circus, but we did some traveling for the 2 design company as well.
Yeah.
And Always a pleasure to travel with Michael.
We had a lot of fun, right?
When I ask for pictures with flowers, I also get some pictures like this with Michael on it.
Yeah, that's for the.
Don't say it.
I won't.
Don't dare. No, but actually, it's a nice picture.
Yeah, it's quite a nice picture. You're right. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's really great. I mean, you guys always have fun together, and you also get some surprises.
That was a really nice surprise. It was Flower Vision. Norwich, sorry, and the horse/pony is called Jack Brock, and Jack Brock is raising funds for the disabled, and it was quite nice. You can rent Jack if you're going to get married or if you're going to get a divorce or whatever. You can rent him, and you have to pay him. And he actually stood on my foot, and that it hurt. As in past tense, so I jumped at his foot, and it hurt again. So
you're raising money for the disabled, but you're
so he got me 100 quid.
Oh my goodness!
Oh, yeah, that's great. Actually, I want to ask the people again who are watching. Like I said. We're going to stop after 10 weeks of the daily Flower Circus Talks. We've been talking to growers, breeders, designers, specialists, importers, everybody. So what? Right. We already get the audience calling. We get new clients.
That sounds like a joke.
Yeah, no, it isn't a joke actually. So what would you like to hear? Because we're going to start. We're going to start to do this every Friday. Next Friday, of course, we're going to start with Michael.
Yeah,
and Mr. John Koopman.
Mr. John. And abroad, my name is Koopman instead of Koopman.
Koopman.
John Koopman.
Johnny Koopman.
Yeah, and in France, it's Jean-Marc Chandon.
Yeah, oui.
Oui, très bien, bien sûr.
Baby, hello.
I'll try to finish my story. So, what do you want to see? What do you want to hear? What's interesting? Like yesterday, we've been at a peony grower showing his varieties, telling about the peonies. Is that something you want to see more? Is it that you want to know more about what's going on in the countries, in the different countries, like we did with Peter Curtis in China? Just let me know in the comments or send me a text or whatever. So we can bring you the news and the new information, like you want it and what you think is interesting. And of course, we will continue with the Flower Circus shows online. Even if we're going to fly again, I think this is also a nice way of showing people and share it, please, as well. That these shows you can just join. You don't have to subscribe or whatever. Join them every first Friday of the month. We will do this show. This time with Michael, I'm for sure that it's going to be a lot of fun, and know what Michael can make as well. It's going to be beautiful as well. I think,
I'm going to do my best. I'm looking forward to see everybody.
Yeah, me too. And let's hope we will send it out today as well, the message or this weekend. So if people can share it, I would be very grateful. So the more people we get in, the better.
Join us next week.
Yeah. So some famous last words, Mr. Jean-Marc Chandon.
Some famous last words. Where is the exit?
Well, that's quite easy. Get there.
So, bye, John.
Thank you, Michael, for your time. I know that you're very busy, but make the time today. So great. See you next week. Enjoy the sun. Alison is already adding Michael and John are a great combo. Well worth watching. Thank you, Alison.
See you next week.
Yeah, hope to see you next week. And thank you, everybody, for watching. And have a nice weekend. And see you next Friday, 3 o'clock, Central European time.
All right. Bye, guys.
Thank you. Bye.